sports.
We are platform. We are Sun
Home runs and strikeouts can stir the emotion. A diving catch brings smiles to the faces of fans. But baseball runs deeper than just the play on the field. Tonight we celebrate the Rays organization and their efforts to make our community a little brighter, on and off the field. Tonight, the homestand continues at Tropicana Field. This will be game 2 of the 3-game series between the Rays and the Toronto Blue Jays. As the Rays enter the final one-third of the regular season, the wild card race as hotly contested as ever. Rays winners last night. They are a game and a half away from a spot, earning a wild card entry into the postseason. Hi again, everyone. Welcome to Rays Baseball with Brian Anderson. I'm Dwayne Stats. Good to have you with us. Todd Callis along in just a moment. Well, the Rays continue to get great pitching. This pitching staff has carried this team. That was the case last night. In fact, over the last 16 games, they have a team ERA of 1.70. And the young right-hander on the mound tonight, the last couple times out, has a lot to do with that.
The message for Alex Cobb would be, remember how you felt your last 2 times out, because he has been outstanding, going 7 strong innings in each start, and he's done it by staying nice and tall over the rubber, staying tall, driving the ball downhill, getting that good sink on the fastball. If he qualified, he'd have the highest ground ball percentage in Major League Baseball as a starting pitcher, and then all of a sudden the curveball comes into play and that very good split and the finish on it. If he's able to do that tonight, look for another good outing from Alex.
Well, the Rays need a victory every time out. They got Evan Longoria back in that lineup last night. He's back in the lineup here again tonight. Well, for the pitching staff, it has been a community effort indeed, and for the Rays organization across the board, it is a community effort. We'll be exploring that piece by piece throughout the evening. Back in a moment.
the Jays on a Wednesday night as we celebrate the Rays' involvement in the Tampa Bay community this evening as part of our telecast. As the Rays players, even today, Elliott Johnson out, Burke Badenhop out, Sam Fold out, Desmond Jennings out, doing their thing. We talked with Mark Fernandez a little while ago during our Rays Live pregame show. He's Senior Vice President for the Tampa Bay Rays, and he told us about why it's important for this organization to be so involved in the community.
You know, it starts with Stu and it goes through Matt and everybody else in the organization, but we really believe fundamentally, Todd, that we have a responsibility, not just an opportunity to make an impact. I mean, it's important. Rays fans and the residents of this community don't owe us anything, and it's our responsibility to be leaders in community impact. So you're going to hear it a lot tonight from a bunch of folks that we work with, and it's a privilege to support their efforts and be next to them as they do this great work. But at the end of the day, we hope that Rays fans see that logo, see our team, and say, wow, I'm proud that's my team and that's my guy.
Ben Zobrist is also out with his Sandlot club today. There you see Carlos Villanueva against Alex Cobb. By the way, Kepinger's the guy that's been on base 7 of 8 times against Villanueva, not Matt Joyce. Like I said in the pregame show, we're less than 3 minutes away till the first pitch, 2:55 to be exact. Dwayne and BA with all the action next.
By Toyota. Visit your local Toyota dealer today for great deals on the amazing lineup of Toyota vehicles. Toyota, moving forward. By AT&T, the nation's largest 4G network. AT&T, rethink possible. And by Tires Plus. The plus is in everything we do. Tonight's Rays game at Tropicana Field is presented in high definition. Brought to you by H.H. Gregg. Rays winners last night. It was a 4-1 final. Rays have won 4 out of their last 6. And against the Toronto Blue Jays, they've gone 7-2 in the season series. Rays just now taking the field. Here is the starting lineup for the Toronto Blue Jays. Rajah Davis is going to lead it off, followed by Colby Rasmus, and Edwin Encarnacion is the DH tonight, hitting third. Yanel Escobar again clean up at shortstop. David Cooper's at first. It'll be Kelly Johnson at second. Jeff Mathis will do the catching. Anthony Gose in right field hitting eighth. And Adeiny Echeverria is at third base. He'll hit ninth.
Taking the mound tonight for the Tampa Bay Rays is right-hander Alex Cobb, making his 14th start of the season and looking to duplicate what he did his last time out against the A's in Oakland. Went 7 strong innings, giving up just 1 earned run, 6 strikeouts, just 1 walk, in picking up his 5th win. Let's take a look at the defense as it lines up behind Alex in the outfield, left to right. Desmond Jennings, B.J. Upton, and Matt Joyce across the infield, third to first. Jeff Keppinger, Sean Rodriguez, Ben Zobrist, and Carlos Pena. Jose Molina will be behind the plate.
Joe Madden, the Rays skipper. Luke Scott continues to make some progress. He'll take BP again tomorrow here. See Madden 69 and 48 in his matchup against the Toronto Blue Jays, and the Rays have done a lot of winning in recent years against the Blue Jays. In fact, the Rays faring very well again this year inside the American League East. They have the best record inside the American League East among all of the clubs there playing against each other.
Well, let's take a look at our scouting report, and it is on the Rays, brought to you by Coventry Healthcare of Florida. Cash in. I mean, since the All-Star break, by far and away the #1 pitching staff in baseball. You need to start cashing in on that. They were able to do that last night, win the opener of this series. Looking to do that obviously again tonight, and if they do, they will continue the domination of this Toronto Blue Jay ball club, especially when you talk about home series. That will give them their 16th consecutive home series win against the Toronto Blue Jays.
You saw John Farrell a moment ago, the manager of the Blue Jays, along with Don Wakamatsu, his bench coach. And Rajah Davis steps in to lead it off. He had a 10-game hitting streak come to an end last night. First pitch of this game presented by Pinch a Penny, and it's a called strike. We're underway here. Davis starts the night hitting .260. And a little chopper out to second. Ben Zobrist up with it. Just throw over the top to Pena in time. 1 away.
You know, that's one of the things that we've seen this Rays pitching staff, the run that they've been on since the All-Star break, that is what they've done, is they have forced the opponents to start swinging the bat early. They put them into swing mode early by working ahead in the count, and then force them to swing at a pitch of their choosing and get a lot of early count outs.
Yeah, the Blue Jays have not been scoring a ton of runs lately. They like to, if they can, run against Cobb. But the idea of forcing them by throwing strikes, they're not a team that's going to walk a lot. So if he can throw a lot of first pitch strikes, that's going to bode well for him to keep them off the bases and out of a potential running game. 1 strike to count to Colby Rasmus. 0-2. Rasmus accounting for the Toronto run last night for the 4th inning homer, his 20th of the year.
And that was a nice adjustment by Colby Rasmus, because James Shields had struck him out of the exact same pitch his first time up, and he ends up hitting a 3-2 changeup out his second time up.
A close pitch right there. The count is 1-2. Toronto continuing an 11-day, 10-game road trip. Right now, they're off to a 2-6 start on their trip. Broken bat and a ground ball again for Zobrist, this time to his left. And Rasmus is out, number 2. 2 up, 2 down. Base is empty for Edwin Encarnacion.
Well, this is the hitter in this lineup that manager John Farrell is counting on, picking up some of that slack from Jose Bautista being out, having a tremendous year. 29 home runs already, 74 RBIs. For a team that has been struggling to score runs, they need a productive Encarnacion.
Pitch wide, tied for 2nd in the league in home runs with the 29. He had 17 last year. Pitch is fouled. The one thing about him, he hits the ball hard. As a lot of these Blue Jays, when their lineup is healthy, that's their approach. But last year with those 17 home runs, his strikeout total started to drop. Made more contact and hard contact. He had some long home runs a year ago. So the fact that he has 29, not a complete surprise to the Blue Jays.
Well, and especially the way that Dwayne Murphy, the hitting coach with Toronto, teaches it. I mean, these guys, when they swing the bat, they swing it with a sense of purpose. And so, yeah, they're able to find the barrel. It's going to be loud.
2-1. Square the count. Well, that trend started under Cito Gaston. Murphy was a part of that then. He's a part of it now under John Farrell.
Okay, that's better. Yeah, I mean, that's Dwayne there. I was stuck on Colby Rasmus' head of hair. I mean, there is a sense of purpose to that. Are you kidding me? That's impressive.
The 2-2. And a foul ball right back at Escobar on deck. That's for later in the season when it gets cold in Toronto.
Got a good head start.
Yep. Davis and Rasmus retired. 2-2 the count to Encarnacion. Hard hit ground ball through the left side out of the reach of the diving Rodriguez. Encarnacion aboard.
Well, and he was able to squeeze that ball into left field because it was hit so hard. Pitched by Alex, outer half, but Encarnacion gets around and wraps that right between short and third. Blue Jays' first hit.
They had him shaded that way to begin with. He hit it perfectly and hit it hard, and is aboard with a 2-out single. Well, Escobar hitting cleanup. He's the shortstop. Upstairs, 1-0.
Well, these are the situations where Alex Cobb has struggled with his mechanics out of the stretch. You know, the batting average against him out of the windup 228. When he goes to the stretch, it goes up by over 100 points, and that's because out of the stretch he has a tendency to get quick towards home plate. His arm starts to drag, and just like that first pitch, it stays elevated.
There's a strike, and it's 1-1, and he's aware of that. He's aware that sometimes he's a little third base oriented in his delivery, and it makes it difficult for them, for those pitches then to wind up down.
And because teams have run on him, 10 of 12 this year, 11 of 11 last year.
Chopper to third. Keppinger down to second. He gets the force right there. They leave a man, and we go to the Rays half of the first. No score.
Rays get their first chance. Tonight's game is available in Espanol via SAP, brought to you by Coventry Healthcare of Florida.
Well, Desmond Jennings will lead it off here. And the first pitch, strike call on the inside part of the plate. Rays facing Carlos Villanueva tonight. Oh-2.
Villanueva making his 7th start of the season. He started the year coming out of the bullpen as the long man, moved into the rotation back at the end of June, and as a starter, 4-1 with a 3.15 earned run average and a 230 average against.
And Jennings out on strikes on 3 pitches. Desmond followed by B.J. Upton in the Rays lineup, and then Matt Joyce. Evan Longoria hits cleanup at DH, and then Ben Zobrist. Carlos Pena starts, hitting in front of Jeff Keppinger, Jose Molina, and Sean Rodriguez in the 8th and 9th spots. BJ beginning the evening at 2:42. Pitch inside, 1 ball, no strikes. Pitch inside, 2-0. A hot shot down to third. Echeverria turns and throws and skips it past Cooper. Ball will be run down by Mathis. It's going to be an error charge to the young infielder, Echeverria. It's a tough play.
Yeah, and he couldn't find it right away. As that ball went into the glove, it squirts out the top. You see it right there. He loses it, realizes it. Now he's got to reach back and rush the throw. Actually, still would have had BJ. Not able to be handled over there by Cooper.
So the Rays have a base runner. Here's Matt Joyce. Joyce goes after the first one, lets the popper to the right side. Johnson out from second, making the catch. 2 outs with Upton aboard, and Evan Longoria now on his way to the plate. Evan returning to the lineup last night, had a run batted in with a sacrifice fly to right center, and later in the 8th inning had a base hit and the 4-1 win. Just his presence makes a difference in the lineup. Pitch is down, 1-0.
The first thing it brings is instant credibility. No matter what you're thinking, or you may as a starting pitcher have heard, okay, maybe he's not all the way 100%. Bottom line is he's good enough to be in the lineup. So you treat him with respect. You're going to pitch him differently. You're going to pitch him carefully. And the guys around him are going to benefit, not just what Evan's going to do himself, but the guys around him will benefit by seeing better pitches, hopefully.
Well, Shields mentioned in his postgame comments last night that he sensed that the offense just felt different. That there was a little giddy up in the step of the offense.
Hey, it's that excitement. Your marquee player is back in the lineup.
1-1 the count to Evan. Of course, Shields did a pretty good job on the mound last night again, picking up his 10th win of the season.
And outstanding. His last 2 outings, if he can keep it there for the rest of the year. Wow.
It's a strike call. Lance Barksdale is behind the plate.
and going back to Shields too, you're not asking him to do something he's not completely capable of doing.
Absolutely.
We watched it all last year in the last 2 outings. He is back into that attack first mentality where he is just looking to, the idea is to go out and embarrass the hitter, not just get him out, just to embarrass him. And that's been his mindset.
1-2 the count. Pitch stays up. A couple varieties of the breaking ball, and that curveball's in the mid-70s. He also, Villanueva will show you the slider.
He loves that for a put-away pitch. Very high percentage to righties and lefties.
A 2-2 count to Evan.
Going through the Rolodex of pitches that he throws.
There goes Upton. The pitch down and away, and the throw not in time. It skips away from Johnson, backed up by Escobar. That's stolen base number 21 for BJ. BJ started the night in the top 10 in the American League, 8th in stolen bases.
Well, he takes off and picks a pretty good pitch to run on. That ball was in the dirt. Mathis had to scoop it, the little backhand, and then come up. Did a nice job, what he had to work with.
So the count is full. Rays now with Upton in scoring position. And Evan is out on strikes. He threw him the slider. We're through 1, no score.
Special guest with us. We have Phil Jones, president of Hillsborough Education Foundation. Thanks for joining us. And Stacy Carlson, VP and program director of the Helios Education Foundation. How are you both? Thanks for joining us.
It's great to be here for a game.
Thanks for having us.
Stacy, let's start with you. Let's talk about the Doubling Up for Education program.
The Doubling Up for Education program is a partnership between the Helios Education Foundation, Take Stock in Children, and the Tampa Bay Rays Foundation. It's an opportunity where every time a Rays player hits a double, the Rays Foundation will donate $600 to a scholarship program matched by the Helios Education Foundation that donates $600. And then we make that contribution to Take Stock in Children to award scholarships to students in the Tampa Bay area.
That is amazing. You see the information right there on your screen. When you talk about the Take Stock in Children program, Phil, what makes it so unique?
Well, it's a wonderful program that really does change the lives of kids. It gives kids in middle school and high school a chance for a college scholarship. There's a few things that are required of them: good grades, staying clean from drugs, and also living a good life. And the thing that's exciting about this, they're paired up with a mentor that teaches them some of the life skills and preparation skills that are necessary to be ready for college. It's a great program that really does change a kid's life.
Very nice. And then, Stacy, finally, the Rays Baseball Foundation. Tell us about their involvement.
I think the Rays Baseball Foundation presented Helios a really unique opportunity to partner with someone who is as committed to education as we are. They also have the same geographical footprint, so the ability to work in Hillsborough, Pinellas, Pasco, Sarasota, and Manatee County with the Take Stock in Children program has been really beneficial. But even beyond the scholarships, the opportunity to be able to promote activities of Take Stock in Children, like on December 8th, there's going to be a walk called Strides for Education, where we can really take advantage of some of the promotional opportunities that the Ray presents us, like this, to be able to talk about other activities that will be enhancing this partnership.
Well, we really appreciate the partnership. Stacy, Phil, thank you very much. We'll be talking about the Rays' involvement in the community all game long, and these are a big partnership group with the Rays in the community. Guys, back to you.
All right, Todd, thank you very much. One out here as Cooper has bounced to third base, and now the count to Kelly Johnson stands at 2-1, and all of that part of the interactive programs that the Rays continue to promote and participate in. Count is 2-2. As Todd referenced on the pregame, 5 of the Rays were out in the community today. Desmond Jennings, Ben Zobrist, Elliott Johnson, Burke Baden-Hopp, and Sam Pohl. And that's not an unusual occurrence. The Rays, over the last couple of years, investing more than $5 million in the community through financial and non-financial assets and in-kind donations. 3-2 the count to Johnson. Hit on the ground to first, and Pena up with it. Cobb covers first. 2 gone.
Well, that ball was hit very, very hard. And the Rays first baseman, a great job here. That one hop, you go down, you almost get that ball on eye level right into the glove. See it now, you got to make the flip. Nice play.
That's another thing the Rays have been doing since the All-Star break. Not only has the pitching been just out of sight, but the defense has been what everyone has grown accustomed to. And the Rays now hoping that that first half was an anomaly when it comes to the defense, because the Rays known for catching the baseball and supporting good pitching.
Well, I think that what you saw in that first half is it almost became contagious. The defense got a little shaky, and then everything looked shaky. And now you see some good plays being made, and you can almost feel that confidence, building. And absolutely, it looks like things are right back where they should be, and complementing this pitching staff very well.
0-2 count. Fastball by Mathis. Couple of ground balls here in the second inning. Couple of ground ball outs. In fact, all 3 outs in the first came on ground balls. And a liner into left through the hole on the left side over the head of Keppinger. And Mathis is aboard.
Now that looked to be a changeup that stayed elevated. It was moving in on Jeff Mathis. You see this ball just comes in, and he just pokes it out into left field. Didn't hit it overly hard. Found safe territory.
Runner aboard. Here's the right fielder, Anthony Gose. Goes with 48 at bats for the Blue Jays, and he has had some contact issues. 17 strikeouts. Lifts a fly ball into left. Jennings backs up, and Desmond puts it away. We go to the bottom half of inning 2. No score. The second inning, Zobrist, Pena, and Keppinger. Ben, throughout his stay with the Rays, has been active in visiting schools. In fact, he created the Sandlot Club, a program designed to teach at-risk youth the baseball basics and the importance of good sportsmanship and teamwork. 1 ball, no strikes. So Ben, one of the Rays, out today, and it seems as if during homestands there's always a group of Rays doing something in the community, like Ben did today.
Yeah, they take it very serious. You're right, and they're busy. They're hands-on, interactive with it. And it's not just one guy. You know, a lot of times it's the same guys being sent to different things. It's a lot of different guys who you have their own area that means something to them, has a soft spot. They do a great job.
And a walk. Gets behind Mathis and goes to the backstop. Zobrist walks for the 71st time this year. Second in the league in that department. Well, David Price, a couple of years ago, helped to found the Dugout Club program. That involves sponsoring 2 recreation centers in South St. Petersburg each summer. David Price is involved in that. B.J. Upton also involved in the same program, the Dugout Club, and Desmond Jennings.
And those guys were all out the other day.
Carlos Pena. Well, you can remember what it was like as a kid. You get a chance to see a major leaguer. If they drop in at your school.
Oh, I was never that fortunate.
Carlos takes the first pitch away. Leadoff man on. Yeah, that's a big day at school.
Oh, are you kidding me? I mean, we had the local firemen come down. It was a huge day, let alone a big leaguer.
Well, they can make an impact on the community just by showing up and stressing the themes of those programs that those 4 players are involved in that we just mentioned. That means something. 2-0 the count here. Carlos.
Whenever I was a little kid, I was always outside.
Yeah, BJ sponsoring a couple recreation centers during the summer in South St. Petersburg. Same thing with David Price. A 2-0 count to Pena. Two and one. Rays facing the 28-year-old right-hander out of the Dominican, Carlos Villanueva. Fly ball back into deep center. Rasmus will go back just to the edge of the track to make the catch, and Zobrist retraces his steps on his way back to first.
Well, Carlos Pena, solid contact, but he had to reach a little bit too far for that. Watch his balls away, and as he goes out there, he's really got to extend and gets that ball. So his ball's off the plate away, and then you're trying to pull that back to the biggest part of the field. So even though you hit it well, it's not going to leave.
Here's Jeff Keppinger. Having Longoria back in that lineup gives Joe Madden an opportunity to get a little more creative with his lineup, and we're going to see that with Keppinger. He's playing third base tonight. He takes the breaking ball, curveball for a strike. Played first base last night, and depending on whether it's a lefty or righty, we'll see that flip-flop going on.
He better have both gloves ready. You're absolutely right, because DH duties are gone now for the most part, and Keppinger's a bat that you want to keep in that lineup. He's been one of the most consistent hitters that the Rays have had all season long. His ability to hit lefties at the rate that he does, to be able to put the ball in play, just his overall approach is so consistent.
And it gives Madden an opportunity to match up Pena a little better. He doesn't have to be in there against certain lefties. He's done the same sort of thing with Joyce. So we've got a couple of guys there that he can maneuver in and out, try to match him up. And what a manager's trying to do is put a guy in a position, his best chance to succeed. And so that's what Madden's going to try to do now with another bat with Longoria back. And he can do that with the rest of the lineup. 0-2 the count. Keppinger behind the right-hander. So that's just another way that Longoria's presence in the lineup makes it better, not only for what he can contribute, but how Madden now can maneuver the lineup and put them in positions to succeed. Ground ball short. It's Escobar Johnson, low throw, and it's scooped by Johnson. Escobar one hop that throw in. No chance for a double play after that.
Yeah, that was about as tailor-made as an opportunity as you were going to get. Right here, he rounds it nice. All I got to do is make the throw for a chance, and this ball skipped. You know, fortunately, Kelly Johnson able to make a nice play, or Escobar would have really messed that play up for the Blue Jays. As it stands, Ray's still with an opportunity here.
There's Jose Molina. And a liner into right. That's going to be in there for a base hit. Keppinger stops at second. Molina on the first pitch takes it the other way.
Well, there you go. You know, you take advantage of a miscue by the Blue Jays, and now Molina has extended the inning. Takes his slider that stays up and away, and he shoots it the other way.
Well, the Blue Jays have given the Rays in 2 innings a couple of opportunities, one on the ball that Upton hit, and now their inability to turn what should have been a double play there. So let's see what Sean Rodriguez can do with men at first and second and 2 outs.
Now, Sean Rodriguez wants to see something up and out over the plate. Talked about Villanueva and that very good slider. Expect Sean Rodriguez to see plenty of those. But if he hangs one like he did to Molina, you got to jump on it.
The pitch is high. Started him with a slider, but up and out of the zone. There's a hot shot. Oh, it's foul. Back a third. He blistered that ball by the third base bag, but it hooked foul and hit a couple of feet outside the left field line.
Well, it was a hanger. That's exactly what you want to do. If Villanueva throws you his very good slider, there's not a whole lot you're going to do with it. But if he hangs one, you got to be jumping on it. Rodriguez did there, but he was just a hair quick. That ball rifled, and you see a few feet foul. Boy, as a hitter, you know, you see that hanging slider coming in there, the eyes start to bug out. You want to destroy that pitch. I've seen it from the other end.
Well, there's a strike on the outside corner.
That's the ironic thing about hangers. The eyes bug out from the pitcher and the hitter for completely different reasons.
You know, the pulse rate quickens.
I mean, as soon as you let it go, I mean, as soon as it leaves your fingertips, you're like, that ball is going to be blistered somewhere. You just know it.
And Rodriguez, he did go on the appeal down to Adrian Johnson. He's out on strikes, and the Rays leave 2. Slider got him. We go to the third, scoreless. Canterfield. Last night, James Shields, very good again. 8 innings en route to his 10th win of the season. 116 pitches, walked only 1. Got the Rays even on the homestand.
Going to watch the whole game.
He worked quickly. He's finished before we go to the 3rd tonight. Time for our Auto-Way text poll involving James Shields. He can make 10 more starts this year. How many wins do you think he'll get in those starts? TB1 8+, TB2 6, 7, TB3 4 or 5, TB4 3 or fewer. Text your answer to 789 789. Standard message and data rates apply. Echeverria taking a strike. Well, that would give him 33 starts, which, interestingly enough, he had 33 last year, 33 the year before, 33 the year before that, and 33 the year before that.
That is the number that you're shooting for. You know, the thing about it is, though, you'd love to say 8+. But a win, there's so many other things that go involved. What about David Price the other night? 8 shutout. Would you say he'd get a win that night? 95% of the time you would. But did he?
Well, here's what he has going for him, though. 33 starts last year. He won 16 games. He easily could have won 20, 22, maybe even 24 last year. You could construct an argument for all of those. So he's got a few wins coming.
He should. He absolutely should. I would say this: if he continues with the same mental approach and the same physical approach, you can bet on those 10 starts you're going to get 8+ very good outings from James Shields.
Sure.
Whether those translate into wins, other things will be at play. But he will give you a chance each and every time out. No question.
Strike 3 call. Echeverria caught looking. Strikeout number 1.
And a very good chance at that. He's been outstanding. His approach has been outstanding. His body language, his tempo has been great. Much like that pitch right there to catch Echeverria by Cobb.
Well, let's see if Shields can run the table.
Why not? Fun to watch.
I'll tell you, the way this pitching staff has worked since the All-Star break. Good cut by Davis. They have been just unbelievable.
I mean, the numbers are incredible. I mean, what, 23 games since the break. The opponent's average, I think, went south of 200 last night.
Yeah, and with last night's performance, they've taken over the lead in earned run average. One here to Davis. And the pitching has been supported better since the All-Star break. And that's a great combination. You get top to bottom the pitching the Rays can get. And you support that with a couple of good defensive plays, and you make plays that you figure are routine that you should make. Well, that makes your pitching even tougher. Well, both that with Longoria back and Madden's ability then to shuffle the lineup around. I mean, we're figuring out a way to. This team could go unbeaten the second half, the final third of the season. How about that?
Unbeaten. Bold statement by Dwayne Stats.
It's hard to do that.
Yeah, no, but you're right. I mean, things are coming together.
They're starting
in the right direction.
How there could be a path to success.
And I'll tell you what, just watching these guys that last road trip, you know, coming back home, and even the games that, you know, in Baltimore, the hitting wasn't there, and Baltimore took advantage of that, but the Rays continued to pitch, continued to play defense. I'd be shocked if they didn't do something special here in the last 53 games to get exactly where they want to get.
Well, anytime you're talking about the future, it's a what if, but the idea is if Longoria can stay healthy and contribute. Davis hit by a pitch here, and so he'll go to first with 1 out. You know, and if Luke Scott comes back and does, Scott's a guy who's capable, and we've seen him this hot when he plays against the Rays, but he's capable of just getting red hot and sustaining that for 4 to 6 weeks. Well, if that happens on top of Longoria staying healthy and being a part of that lineup, how much better is that going to make the whole lineup?
Well, what we were talking about last night, talked about the Rays from the All-Star break, what they've been able to do with the pitching staff and how that could translate into winning 20 out of 22, 18.
Yeah.
Well, that's exactly what happened with Oakland during the month of July.
Yeah.
Why? Because there was a slight uptick in offense. So they didn't go crazy, but there was an uptick in the offense, and the pitching stayed pretty much the same.
Yeah, they had the best winning percentage in the history of the franchise in July.
So what you're telling me, that same thing cannot happen here?
Absolutely, it could happen.
Yeah.
There's no question about that. And you're doing it with some guys who've been there and through that stretch run before.
Because there is something different about pennant race baseball.
That's right.
There's something different about it, and a lot of these guys know that.
Strike the count to Rasmus. 2. But you got to take care of the game at hand right here. And that's the only thing that matters right now.
Yeah, you and I, we have the luxury of being able to look long term.
Oh, yeah.
That's what's great about sitting up here. But you're right, as a player, to make that happen, it's literally one pitch at a time. It's this pitch right here, regroup, and move on to that next one.
1 ball, 2 strikes. And frankly, that's something that we touched on before, something the Rays try to teach throughout the organization, even down in the minor leagues. It's all about the process. It's about that pitch to that hitter at that moment. You do enough of those things right. There goes the runner. Pitch hit on the ground, and that's through into right. Davis will motor over to third on a base hit pulled into right by Rasmus. Rasmus has his first hit tonight. Third hit given up by Cobb.
Let's see here. You see where Ben Zobrist is. And that ball just out of his reach. That ground ball able to sneak by as the runner was in motion. Allows him to get over to third.
So 1 out with men at first and third, and the dangerous Edwin Encarnacion about to step in. Pitch outside, 1-0.
This is where Alex Cobb just needs deep breath. Think about making a pitch. His ability to get ground balls can help him here. Working down in the zone for a multitude of reasons, but especially against Encarnacion. That's what the focus should be.
And the curveball is in there. Encarnacion, the toughest out in this lineup for them. He's in the top 10 in slugging percentage. He's in the top 10 in on-base percentage. Tied for second with 29 home runs. Started when Davis was hit by a pitch. And with Davis running on a 1-2 to Rasmus. Rasmus singled into right. Liner back into left. Jennings will be there to catch it. Tag at third. Davis will score easily. And the Blue Jays have the first run of the game on a sacrifice fly off the bat of Encarnacion.
Now this pitch working down and in. You see Encarnacion really step in the bucket there and clear that front hip. That allows him to get the barrel to the baseball. Didn't catch it crisp. Got enough of it to get it to left field. Played the first run for the Blue Jays.
Now Escobar, the shortstop. A run home. Rasmus back in at first. Jays have managed to put men on base in each of the front 3 innings. They've scored a run in the 3rd. Cobb misses down. At the start of the day, New York up by 4.5 on the Orioles. Rays running 3rd, 6 back. Boston 4th, 9 out. And Toronto 10 back. And Rasmus back in. The Yankees have taken a 5-0 lead in the bottom of the 3rd at Detroit. Curtis Granderson has hit his 30th home run of the year. A 3-run shot against his former team. Breaking ball that had Escobar ducking, but the pitch missed the zone. It's 2-0. Tigers started the day up by a game on Baltimore and Oakland. It's the wild card race. Two and one, a big cut by Escobar. Cobb taking his time here in the 3rd. He's been touched for a run. 2 outs, 2-1 the count to Escobar. And he gets the soft curve in there for a called strike. 2-2. Another 2-2 pitch after that foul ball. Alex Cobb with 50 pitches made right now. Made 95 pitches in the 7 innings he worked against Oakland on the first day of August. With a fastball, and the count is full. Up a run, 3 hits. He's hit a man and has a strikeout. The strikeout opened this inning when he got Echeverria looking on a change. 3-2 and a liner towards center. That will drop for a base hit. Rasmus goes to 3rd. Escobar serves that one into center field and has his first hit of the game.
Well, you got a full count. You've got a runner in motion. This ball just hangs up enough. Escobar can go out and get it, get underneath it. So just keep the hands back. Able to get that ball out into center field and keep this inning going for the Blue Jays.
Alex Cobb making his first start ever against the Blue Jays. Now faces David Cooper, the first baseman. Cooper went 0 for 3 last night as the designated hitter. He hit 10 home runs in Las Vegas, hitting .314 down there at the Blue Jays AAA affiliate. Cobb gets ahead of him for a strike. He's up for the 2nd time with the Blue Jays right now, up from Las Vegas. Flips it into center. Had him reaching on the changeup, and BJ takes care of that. 1 run. We go to the bottom of the 3rd. 1-0 Toronto.
1-0 lead over the Rays. This is just a reminder as you enjoy a cold one. Look forward to Miller Time later in tonight's game, brought to you by Miller Lite.
Rays will have the top of the order. Leading off the third. They've left 3 men on base through 2. Jennings, Upton, and Joyce due up. Desmond shortens on the bat, takes the pitch for a ball, 1-0. Carlos Villanueva on the hill. His 29th appearance overall, his 7th start. There's a record of 6-1 and a .319 earned run average. It's a strike, 1-1. Followed the changeup with a fastball and is ahead in the count, 1-2.
Yeah, that 90-mile-an-hour fastball looked like it caught Desmond off guard. That was a late hack at that pitch away, similar to the one he took for strike 3 the first at bat.
One-two pitch away. Fastball out there.
He's had success, so you just keep going to it. You've seen been able to read the swings from Desmond on that particular pitch.
We'll run the count full. That slider, if he gets you to 2 strikes, he loved to throw the slider to both the right and the left-handed hitters with 2 strike counts.
You can see right there the depth that he's able to get on it. A lot of guys chase.
Line drive, and there's a base hit off a fastball. Davis hustles over to cut it off. Jennings heads for second, and he is safe. Well, there's a case for Jennings utilizing that speed. Runs himself into a 2-base hit.
You should see that every night. Desmond Jennings is capable of this all the time. This is a ball that caught too much plate. He's up quick out of the box. This ball stays in. And watch this. He's thinking double already, and he should do that every time. Look at this. How do you defend that?
You defend it late.
Right. And you know what? There's going to be times that he can't make it to second. But you know what? You apply that pressure to the defense. That ball was fielded cleanly. And he got in safely.
Now here's BJ. The first pitch is a strike. BJ reached on an error his first time. Escobar jockeying in behind Jennings, finally went to the bag and nothing doing. Villanueva steps off. Cut by Upton on a fastball, fouling it. 2 strikes now. Well, the Rays have had runners in scoring position in each of the front 3 innings. Leadoff double by Jennings. Up the right side, that's going to be fair. Back into the corner. Jennings will score. Upton makes his way to second with a double, and the game is tied 1-1. So Upton driving in his 40th run with his 18th double.
Well, a mistake there by Villanueva, and BJ Upton takes advantage. 2-strike pitch right down the middle. BJ just trying to protect, just drops the bat head. Able to keep that ball fair. Trades places with Desmond.
So back-to-back doubles. against Matt Joyce up there. Takes a look at the pitch wide. 1-0. Escobar behind the bag at second. Johnson shaded over halfway between first and second. And a line drive, base hit into right. Upton will stop at third. Joyce aboard. 3 consecutive hits for the Rays in the bottom of the third.
Now another changeup. This ball away from Matt. Strong enough to go out there and get it. BJ makes the read. Play it safe here with nobody out.
Now Evan Longoria. So the Rays have tied it. They threaten to take the lead. Evan misses the curveball. Strike one. Evan aggressive as run producers will be with men out there on base. And that slow curve.
That was it. It just could not wait back there long enough. Get a couple more shots here.
Ground ball headed to short. Escobar out at second and out at first. The run will score. Upton crosses the plate. So Longoria makes contact to get the run home. Grounds into a 6-4-3 double play. And Evan, you saw what you're going to get with Evan for a while. The Rays want him to protect that hamstring. So he's pretty much station to station, and they'll take that right there to get the lead.
Yeah, and you know what? The key is going to be for him to stay disciplined in that. You know he wants to try to beat that out. But you got to be smart.
Zobrist takes a pitch down and in. So Jennings and Upton have scored the runs. The strike. Infield pulled around for Zobrist. Escobar shading the middle from shortstop. Echeverria well off the third base path. Villanueva pitching him in off the plate this time. 2 balls and a strike. Well, Ben has had a lot of success against Villanueva. 3 for 5 with 3 home runs off him. And he fouls the curveball. 2-2. Toronto scored a run at the top of the inning. The Rays have answered that with 2 in the bottom. Pitch thrown into the dirt, and the count is full. Villanueva walked Ben on 4 pitches in the second. He's been careful with him here, and now 3-2. And ball 4. Another walk drawn by Zobrist.
Well, and you can see that those 3 home runs weigh on the mind of Villanueva, the way that he has approached Ben Zobrist tonight. And even when you get him into a count where it's 2-2 and you've got a chance to put him away, he really yanked that slider and then very careful with that changeup. Not aggressive at all with the off-speed pitches.
And now with Pena up here, Echeverria moves from third into shallow right field as they put the full-fledged shift on. Carlos 0 for 1. Zobrist back in. Well, the key to getting Villanueva appears to be, as it is in a lot of pitchers, get them into hitters' counts. And he walks enough so that you tend to think that he's going to be in hitters' counts. But he's held the opposition to an overall average of just 221. But 1-0, the opposition hits over 400 off him. 2-0, 429, and 3-1, 333.
Do you think we're going to see a pitch in this at bat?
Here it is.
There we go.
And it's low, ball 1.
Well, tonight's game and all season long, Tires Plus will donate $100 to the Pediatric Cancer Foundation for every Tampa Bay Rays home run televised on Sun Sports and Fox Sports Florida.
Rays open the inning with a couple doubles and a base hit. Double play got him their second run, then the walk to Zobrist. And it's 2-0. Baltimore leads Seattle 4-0 in the top of the third at Baltimore. 3 RBIs for Wieters. Outside, 3-0. Boy, he was very careful with Zobrist and equally so with Pena.
Yeah, I mean, zero aggression here by Villanueva. Really picking, a lot of off speed, not throwing it with any kind of confidence whatsoever.
And he walks Pena.
And nothing will drive a manager, especially when that manager is a former pitcher, crazy than the 2-out walk in the manner in which he's done it.
Bruce Walton, the pitching coach, heads to the mound for John Farrell. Two men on with 2 men out. Jeff Keppinger will be the hitter. And Keppinger has had great numbers as well against Villanueva. 0 for 1 tonight. He came into the game 5 out of 12 with 3 walks against him.
Third baseman, Jeff Keppinger.
So here's Jeff Keppinger. Breaking ball to start. Keppinger misses. 1 ball, no strikes. Three walks issued by Villanueva. 2 back-to-back in this inning. And he misses down. 2-0.
That's 8 straight. 8 straight pitches out of the zone, starting with the final 2. To Zobrist, all 4 to Pena. First 2 here.
And he just picks up the zone there. 2-1. Here's a breaking ball. Curveball in. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Two. 2 men on. And now a full count. Curveball just a little harder than his normal breaking ball. So the count is full, and John Farrell pacing, as managers will do in these situations. A base hit up the middle into center field. Zobrist scores. Pena on his way to third. The Rays make it a 3-run inning as Keppinger takes it right back through the middle, driving in the run.
Well, the Rays taking full advantage of some very passive pitching, let's say. The walk to Zobrist, the 4-pitch walk to Pena, and just breaking ball after off speed to Keppinger. He finally gets wise to that and just leans out there and plays Pepper right back up the middle in a full count. And the Rays are able to get another run.
First and third, 3 runs in. Here's the 8th hitter of the inning, Jose Molina. Pitch outside. Ball, no strikes. Rays have 4 hits in the inning, a couple of walks and 3 runs. Going to hang up for Davis, who runs under it to make the catch. 8 men come to the plate. The Rays score 3. They leave 2. And at the end of 3, it's 3-1 Tampa Bay. It's got him 3 runs in the bottom of the 3rd. We go to the 4th. It's 3-1, and our Toyota inside look. Cobb through 3 innings has given up a run, 4 hits, and over the last couple of starts, his out distribution, 18 ground ball outs and That's not unusual when you look at the percentage of ground balls that he produces.
Absolutely not. 73.4%. Alex Cobb, and that's the whole key. When he stays nice and tall, works the ball down to the zone, you know, he's got good finish on the fastball. Of course, that split change has good down action. On that same path right now.
Yep, 5 so far through 3. Kelly Johnson put the ball hard on the ground back in the second inning, and Pena made a nice play at first with Cobb covering the bag. First pitch is a strike.
If you're able to keep the ball on the ground at that high of a percentage, you give yourself a chance no matter what the circumstances are.
2, breaking ball foul.
You give a lead-up single up, lead-off walk. Well, you know what? You know, hey, just work the ball down to the zone, get my customary ground ball, and I can get a 2 for 1. Doesn't even have to be top of the hour either.
One and 2. Yankees have a big lead early on Detroit. That's 7-1 now. Detroit with the run in the bottom of the 4th inning. Johnson, Mathis, and Gose due up here in the 4th. 24-year-old right-hander Alex Cobb making his 14th start of the year. Foul. You know, this tremendous run the Rays pitchers have had. You think some people might say, well, they're just hot. But I think the Rays really think the pitching is this good.
Yeah,
I think they do.
I don't think when you watch these guys, and the numbers are ridiculous, but there's nothing flukish about it.
Yeah.
You know, no one is pitching out of their mind. They're pitching great, but they're all capable of that every time out.
Johnson out on strikes. Out in front.
Nice split change there by Cobb. You see the grip. He keeps it right out over the plate. 2 strikes you got to protect. But look at that finish on that pitch. Not a whole lot you can do.
Got a couple of those strikeouts on that pitch tonight. 1 out in the 4th.
You know, you look at the starters. Shields is back to the familiar James Shields that we've seen. No reason he can't keep that up. We saw him do it for 30-some starts last year.
Yep.
David Price just continues to pitch with confidence. He's been as consistent as any starting pitcher in the big leagues all season long.
Check.
You're seeing Matt Moore. He's starting to round into midsummer form like he's done every year in professional baseball. He's starting to heat up, and I think you can even see him pitch better.
I think you can.
Jeremy Hellickson, he's more along the lines, going back to that fastball, changeup, curveball, and he's been, you know, consistent the last month and a half, and a guy that is by no means you think that he's hit a ceiling.
Right again.
Okay, well, Alex Cobb, same thing. He had a rough stretch there in his middle starts. The last 2 have been great.
So here we go.
Well, yeah.
And the bullpen.
Enough said.
2-1. Tapper, that's foul. Fouled off Mathis. Others in the batter's box, and the count advances to 2-2. Well, all of that factors out to the Rays having the best pitching since the All-Star break, and overall the best earned run average right now as a team.
I think one of the things, too, that is, I shouldn't say underrated, but we don't talk about enough is these pitchers are all talented. They're doing a great job. But that man right there, well, he was right there, the pitching coach, Jim Hickey, does a tremendous job of putting together game plans.
Fastball by Mathis. Back-to-back strikeouts. Got Johnson on the changeup and Mathis on the fastball.
They're climbing the ladder right there to get the punch out. Yeah, tons of video gets watched, not only by the pitchers, but by the pitching coach right there, Jim Hickey, and he comes up with game plans. Now, those game plans are only as good as your execution. However, these pitchers go out there with the confidence, if I do these things, it's going to work. Well, far too often, they do those things.
What's the Keep Your Edge spotlight? Brought to you by Just For Men. The Rays pitching, giving the Rays that edge, and you can keep your edge with Just For Men mustache and beard. 2 strikeouts here, 1 strike to count. Anthony Gose, who fouls it out of play. You know, you could say, well, you know, pitching coach has got all this talent. Well, you know, there are a lot of pitching coaches with a lot of talented staffs, and there's a certain amount of planning that we see Hickey go through and breaking down video and all that. There's also perseverance and staying with guys and game planning, and then getting them to the point where they're willing to execute it. Right here, Cobb executes a 3-strikeout inning. He strikes out the side. He got Johnson on the changeup, then Mathis on a fastball, and he finished off striking out Gose.
Leading the Blue Jays, as we continue with more on the Rays in the community, Diana Baker, President and CEO of course, United Way, Suncoast. Diana, tell us about the initiative the Rays have started here in South St. Petersburg as they have been building since 2009 this new initiative, and how the United Way has been involved with that.
Well, the South St. Pete initiative really started after the tragic loss of a young person in a community just adjacent to the Tropicana field here. And the Rays responded very quickly with a number of outreach programs to the young people at Campbell Park Elementary and in the community. But they really wanted to have a greater impact in the community. And so they called on United Way, because we have some experience in working with neighborhood groups to develop, to go through a community assessment process with residents and leaders in the community, and to develop a community plan.
And I know it's special for the Rays because it is right here where Tropicana Field is, and how has that Rays Baseball Foundation made an impact with that community?
Well, we couldn't do it without the Rays. They have absolutely changed the course and the story for a number of children in the Campbell Park Elementary School academically, and they are also, I think, inspiring the community to know that there are advocates out there like the Rays organization and United Way that care about their success.
Yeah, Sean Rodriguez leads off with a base hit. Diane, I know Desmond Jennings and B.J. Upton and David Price have been all around that community doing a great job. Thank you so much for what you do as well with the Rays. It is a great combination.
It's our pleasure. You're great partners.
Thank you very much. Guys, back to you.
Thank you. And Sean Rodriguez, who supports Autism Speaks in the Boys and Girls Clubs of Suncoast, has himself a base hit. Here's Desmond Jennings. And Sean back in at first. Desmond doubled and scored in the third. Desmond lifts it into center. Rasmus backs up a few steps. It's the first out. So Rodriguez returns to first. B.J. Upton, he's been on twice, reaching on an error, and then he doubled in a run and scored in the third. Ball, no strikes. There goes a start by Sean Rodriguez and a balk. Well, Sean started, he was caught, and Villanueva in his haste balked.
You're just not used to that. You come set, you're looking at a guy, if he is going to take off, it's after you've already started to deliver the ball to the plate. But with the early release there, watch Sean Rodriguez trying to time it up. He goes. And he realizes, oh man, I'm in trouble. But then he benefits from the ball call, and here it is. See that back leg start to collapse before he steps off. That indicates a movement towards home. Front leg was going too.
BJ takes a big cut. It's 1-1. Rays now with a man in scoring position as a result of the balk. Mathis out of there looking to fire down to second. And Rodriguez back in as BJ swung through the fastball up. And Upton is called out on strikes. And he doesn't like it. Caught looking. Lance Barksdale calls him out.
Now that was a borderline pitch, and it was a changeup in an area you're not used to seeing it. That ball in right on the borderline. Barksdale says it got the inside corner. Pretty close.
Yeah, and that's a case where for BJ, that's a tough decision to make. You take it and you hope that it's off the plate as he thought it was. First pitch to Joyce is a strike on the inside corner.
And initially you're fooled by the speed. You know, you're gearing up, you're starting to get ready to go, and you see that four-seam spin, but it's not, it's a changeup. And then it's working its way down and in. Something you just don't see every day.
Joyce sends a high fly ball back into right. Joe to the track, couple steps from the wall, and he makes the catch to retire the side. We've completed 4 at the Trop, and the Rays lead 3-1. At Tropicana Field, Rays have built this 3-1 lead, and it's time for our AT&T trivia question. Fernando Rodney setting the Rays record for consecutive scoreless innings by a reliever last night. What's the major league record? How close is Rodney to zeroing in on that mark? On to the 5th. Alex Cobb with a 2-run lead has surrendered a run on 4 hits. And here's Adeiny Echeverria. He was called out on strikes his first time and bounces it foul. Cobb coming off the 4th when he struck out the side. One ball, one strike. Curveball taken for a strike, and it's 1-2.
Yeah, Echeverria right there, fooled by the break. Now that pitch, a little buckle action.
And he's hit by that pitch. Fastball that got him. So Cobb, who also hit Davis in the 3rd, hits Echeverria in the 5th.
Boy, that got him square too. That back forearm, that ball running up and in.
And here is Rajah Davis. He was hit by a pitch with 1 out in the 3rd. Came around to score. Now he is the hitter with Echeverria at first base, hit by a pitch. Davis 0 for 4 last night to snap a 10-game hitting streak. throw again. Yankees batting in the 6th inning, leading Detroit at Detroit 7-1. Baltimore hitting in the bottom of the 5th. They have a 7-0 lead on the Seattle Mariners. Ground ball shortstop. Rodriguez Silvers 1, first base 2. 6-4-3 on the double play. Well, that ground ball turns into 2. They got a speedy guy.
That's exactly right. Not going to be an easy one to turn with Davis running, but very clean by the Rays there. And they're able to get it done.
So the ground ball turns into a double play. Hitter's Colby Rasmus, who homered last night, has a base hit tonight. 1 for 2. That's a strike.
Interesting batting stance here too by Rasmus. He's halfway up in the batter's box, right behind the line. You see that back foot, even with the back third of the home plate, way up at the front.
And I'll tell you, he comes close to stepping out of the batter's box. And at the opportune time, if he puts a ball into play, he could be called out for that.
Yeah, watch where he's at. You know, you see most guys, they're trickling towards the back end. He's going to be right in the middle, right up against the line. You do not see that very often. Hands out over the plate.
And a cut to miss. He strikes out. Fastball. 5 strikeouts in the game for Cobb. We go to the bottom of the 5th, and the Rays lead 3-1. Brought to you by your Southern Ford dealers. By 5-Hour Energy. 5-Hour Energy fixes tired fast. And by Subway Restaurants. Play hard, eat fresh. Bottom of the 5th inning underway. Evan Longoria up there with a count of 1-0. Zobrist and Pena to follow. Two balls, no strikes. Quickly, Longoria up in the count. Rays scored 3 runs in the 3rd inning. They've had runners on base and in scoring position in each of the first 4. It's a strike to Evan. 3-1. Now a full count. 3-2. And strike three. A 3-2 curveball comes back to get Evan Longoria. Let's get the answer to our AT&T trivia question. Fernando Rodney setting the Rays record for consecutive scoreless innings by a reliever last night. What is the major league record set by whom? Brad Ziegler, 39 innings with the Oakland A's in 2008. Zobrist bouncing the first pitch foul. There's the strike. Well, Fernando Rodney has been everything and more that the Rays could have hoped for. Things didn't work out for him with the Angels. And ironically, the Angels now, I think, lead at least the American League, if not the major leagues, with 17 blown saves.
But Rodney, he wasn't even counted on to be in that role. That was going to be Kyle Farnsworth.
Tap right side. Cooper is going to make the play unassisted. And how about this? It's not only Rodney with a streak of 22. How about J.P. Howell? His is still going at 20.
Well, again, how good this Rays bullpen has been. Joe Borowski set this club record back in 2005. It was 7 years ago. And you're going to have potentially two guys who pass him at the same time. JP with 20. He has been another guy who has really taken off this year. Back to that good fastball command, that curveball. It's tight, 12-6.
Pena shortens on the bat, takes ball one with the shift on. They've moved Echeverria into short right field from third base. Escobar, the lone defender, on the left side, and he's pulled up a bit. You can see him there. Two balls, no strikes. The pitch inside.
Now he's back in his 2-0 position.
Two balls and a strike. Pena bunts it. And the throw to first in time. On that 2-1 pitch, he tries to bunt. Villanueva throws him out. We're through 5, 3-1 Rays.
Is the spokesperson for Reading with the Rays as we welcome in Lori Tonti. She is the coordinator of youth services for the Hillsborough County Library System. Lori, tell us a little bit about the program that Matt's involved with Reading with the Rays.
Reading with the Rays was created and supported by the Rays Baseball Foundation, the Tampa Bay Times Newspaper and Education, and the Hillsborough, Pinellas, Pasco, Hernando, Manatee, and Sarasota County Public Libraries. So it's been a great program. Basically, the kids get to literally read their way to the ballpark throughout the summer. They read a certain amount of hours, and as they reach bases, they get Rays incentives. And if they make it all the way to home plate for 24 hours, they get a free ticket to a Rays game.
So 24 hours of reading gets you all the way around the bases to home plate, a free ticket. Why is this program so important to the kids you run across?
Well, summer reading is extremely important to kids because if they don't read throughout the summer, they lose crucial skills that they learned in the previous school year, and they basically end up behind the following school year because they've lost all that reading skills. So, and it's also been great because parents have reported that they have reluctant readers, and the baseball has really gotten them hooked, and they want that Rays ticket, so they will read throughout the summer to get the Rays ticket. So it's been another great push for reluctant readers.
As Toronto leads off here in the 6th inning, trailing 3-1, our final question is, how about the Rays Baseball Foundation and their involvement with this whole program?
They have been fantastic partners. They were the ones who actually came to us because they wanted to involve the community, and they know how important reading is to kids. And summer reading is a perfect fit because it corresponds with the season. And Matt Joyce has been the spokesperson this year, which has been fantastic. He actually came to the library and read to the kids, which the kids loved. And the Rays have provided inserts, the newspaper insert, and they've provided all of the incentives for the kids. So they've been a really great partner with us.
Yeah, and the cool thing, Matt is a local product, so he went through the same school systems that a lot of these kids did as well. Lori, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you very much.
All right, guys, Lori Tonti and more Reading with the Rays, more community events that the Rays are a part of. Back to you, Dwayne.
All right, Todd, thank you very much. Encarnacion, a high pop foul caught by Pena. Here's Escobar. Pitch is too high, 1 ball, no strike. Elliott Johnson also launched EJ's RBI Reading Books Illuminates Club, and is involved in that with children at Child's Park YMCA summer camp. There's a strike, and the count is 1-1. Just a couple more examples of the Rays being directly involved one-on-one with the community. 1-1, the count to Escobar. Short is on the bat. Hey, that's a strike. Escobar is not pleased with Barksdale's call. 1-2. Cobb found himself a little bit of a spot in the 3rd. Gave up a run then. Struck out the side in the 4th. He hit Echeverria to open the 5th, but got a double play ball and then struck out Rasmus. Tired Encarnacion, the big bat in this lineup, to start the 6th. He's ahead of Escobar. Fly ball toward right center. Up and on the move. BJ's going to be there, and he makes a nice running catch for out number 2.
BJ had to cover some ground to get to that ball hit by Escobar. Even with the seeds halfway out of the pocket, he got it going. Well, you got to feel good as a pitcher out there, knowing the kind of speed that you have in the outfield to be able to cover ground and get the balls like that. Yep.
2 gone. Go after the next guy. David Cooper. There's a strike. Cooper, ground ball and a fly ball tonight. Ball, 1 strike. Out of Stockton, California. 2 balls and a strike. Ground ball back to the hill and nicely grabbed by Alex Cobb. Cost to Pena, and it's a 1-2-3-6. Rays half of the inning coming. It's 3-1 Tampa Bay. After the Blue Jays had scored 1 in the top half of that inning, we go to the bottom of the 6th, and it's now 3-1. Jeff Keppinger, Jose Molina, and Sean Rodriguez to hit. Keppinger chases a breaking pitch, strike 1. Keppinger singled in a run in the 3rd. Hit a curveball back through the middle. Fouled up the right side and will carry back out of play. 0-2. Steve Delabar listening in the bullpen. It's a revamped Toronto bullpen during the season. It's a tap foul back of the plate. John Farrell has turned 50 a few days ago. Keppinger pops it back at first this time, and Cooper's after it. Makes the grab. 1 out.
Well, D. Wayne, I know that you were hoping that this moment would quietly pass you by, but it hasn't. And on behalf of the crew, both up here and down in the truck, we would like to wish you a very, very happy birthday.
Yes, thank you very much. Yes, and I know it's heartfelt. Thank you. I thought we might slide by all of that.
Yeah, I did. I know you
nice
did.
Going. Well,
let the game move on a little bit. You're feeling pretty antsy and froggy. You're going to sneak out the back end. Not a chance. Not a chance.
Yeah, you guys are really bad people. Yeah,
how about that?
What happened to the headset?
Was that in Houston as you were bringing the?
I think it was Houston.
The lunar module back.
Yeah, it was help to bring them in. One strike count. We got those directly from NASA. Wow, it's amazing what's available out there in the public domain now. It's a little scary. 1-1 the count.
Yeah, those are good pictures.
Yeah, somebody's.
Hey, I mean, you've been at it for a long time. An icon.
Well, I've been at it a long time. I don't know about the rest of it, but you know, you just keep showing up.
That's right.
1-1 the count to Molina. 1-2.
Well, I'm honored to be sitting next to you.
Feelings mutual. Not only am I honored, but frequently entertained. Yeah, if you think we're entertained on the air, it's the after the show party.
It's a travesty that there's not a camera up in the corner. Just filming the in-between innings nonsense.
It's probably good for us that it's not up there.
I don't know.
You know,
it's pretty good. Like this guy right here. You
See
know?
that one? They put this one in to keep an eye on us. We know that for sure. But we know it's there, and so we can be. There's a certain decorum that we can use.
Oh, they're not taping.
There could be a hit swing and a miss. Molina just got a little piece of that one to stay alive. Yeah, you know, maybe we should look into the corners of the booth just to see. There might be a hidden camera.
You never know. I mean, this one showed up overnight.
Boy, we are in trouble if they have a hidden camera.
If there are tapes, it was nice knowing you, pal.
Yeah. 2-2. That's foul out of play. Still 2 balls, 2 strikes. Anybody around here going to race tapes? Yeah, I need a technical wizard.
We're not kidding.
Wow. 2-2 now. Molina fouls this one. Another souvenir. The Rays with 3 runs tonight, 6 hits. Well, they scored 4 runs last night on 9 hits. And there was really a sense of excitement and relief and exuberance that the offense could produce 4 runs, 9 hits after what the pitching had been doing and how difficult it had been for the Rays to mount offense. And suddenly they're starting to act as if they believe they can produce some offense.
You know, and it started that second time through the lineup when you had Desmond and BJ were able to get on second and third with nobody out. You know, a situation that you've got to at least score those 2 guys, and they did. They didn't have a huge inning, but they were able to plate those 2 guys. It started with the sacrifice fly.
Oh, there goes a bat, a swing and a miss, and an error in the front row. Well, the bat toss. And in and out of the front row.
Yeah, and now there's a decision to be made, and it's not happening. Oh, the catch, you had it. And then it rolls out of reach.
Yeah. Well, he said, hey, I had my chance. You know, and
see, look at even the race players are booing Foley. Shields the thumbs down.
Here's Sean Rodriguez. 1 ball, no strikes. Yeah, well, I think they'll make that right.
I think without question.
2-0. Especially when he pulls a Rodney Dangerfield. My arm, it's broken. Oh, here's a bat. 2-0 the count. It's a little bit inside. 3-0. Well, Molina on that bat toss, he got pretty good distance. It's foul back. He took a cut 3-0. So it's 3-1 now. Villanueva delivers, and a big cut on the fastball. Now the count is full. Cut the miss. Fastball up, got him. The Rays are up and down in order, as it turns out. We go to the 7th, 3-1, Tampa Bay. The Rays lead. Remember, tune in Saturday for Inside the Rays, featuring Jeremy Hellickson. Get an in-depth look at Jeremy's childhood and his passion for the game of baseball, a passion that would help him eventually become the American League Rookie of the Year last year. It's all on Inside the Rays, Saturday at 10:30 p.m. on Sun Sports, where Rays fans live. Jeremy Hellickson with Jake McGee and Sean Rodriguez in the community, brightening the youngsters' day. Part of the Rays' outreach into the community. First pitch to Kelly Johnson. Here's a ball. 1 ball, no strike. Sam Folds supports Juvenile Diabetes Research Foundation and has hosted sports camps for youngsters with type 1 diabetes at the University of South Florida. There is a strike, and it's 2-1. It's headed toward the corner. Will one hop the wall. Johnson's on his way to second. It's his 13th double of the year, and the leadoff man is aboard.
Well, in a 2-run game, every base runner is going to matter, especially as you get later. This ball down and away. Not a bad pitch at all by Alex Cobb. A better piece of hitting by Johnson of going with it and able to get it down to the left field corner for a leadoff double.
Cobb gave up 4 hits through the first 3 and a run, and he's given up the double here in the 7th inning. There's Jake McGee up in the bullpen, and that's pretty much been the story on Cobb early and in the mid part of games. Opposition hitting over 300 off him in the first 3, and then down a little over 240 in the 4th, 5th, and 6th innings. We're in the 7th now, and he's given up a leadoff double. pitch is breaking ball and a strike call. Jeff Mathis, the catcher, is the hitter. Side. Keppinger picks it up and makes the play to first. Johnson heads over to third. Pena back to take the toss. And Jim Hickey heads to the mound. I was thinking part of that that breakout innings 1 through 3 and then the middle part of the innings a little skewed by the complete game that Cobb had against Kansas City, when he gave up 8 runs in that complete game, and 6 of those came in the first 3 innings. He had that 5-run third inning in that game. So part of that skewed a little bit there, but you know, in a way it does make sense. If you get through the middle 3, you're probably pitching pretty well.
Yeah.
Get through the first 3, and then the middle 3 would be better. And in fact, the last 3, when he pitches late, that's even better. So it kind of gives you an idea. You got pretty good stuff, and that's kept you in the game. You've earned your way because those numbers are good.
Well, and also would be indicative of a guy who, when he does struggle, it's going to be mechanically, and as he settles down and gets into the game and gets more into a good rhythm, the results, you know, start to follow along with that.
Well, here's Anthony Gose. The pitch is a strike. Johnson opened with a double, and Mathis bunted. He's a catcher. It's a sacrifice.
Yeah,
it is a little unusual, though.
From a baseball, you know, a standpoint of, I don't know, strategy.
Well,
it just doesn't sit very well.
You would
down by 2.
Yeah, and you would think, number one, because you are down by 2. Number 2, you're giving away precious outs late in the game. And number 3, you're going to deal with the best bullpen going right now.
Well, that's it. You're down to 9 outs. And so a leadoff double, a pitcher made a good pitch. Your hitter did a better job of going the other way, you know, late in the game, and then you're just going to give him an out. As a pitcher, you love that. Get another out here, take that run. That's fine. I'll make sure I get the next guy. I'll go 7 innings, give up 2 runs, and then turn it over to these guys down in the corner with the lead. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I thought it was strange when he squared around at first. Boy, when he actually put it down.
One ball, 2 strikes. Ghost is out on strikes for the second time. He's 0 for 3. Strikeout number 6 for Alex Cobb.
Great job here by Alex. That runner on third in less than 2 and a 1-2 count. You're going to go for that strikeout, and he throws another dandy changeup to pick it up. Now you got a chance to get out without giving up anything.
Catch it for Rhea. He was hit by a pitch his last time. Called out on strikes back in the third. He bounces it foul. Strike 1. All the scoring taking place in the third inning tonight. The Rays have a 3-1 lead. Tap foul. 2. Pitches now for Alex Cobb. An 0-2 count. A foul right back. That's going to carry out a play. Johnson doubled. He was bunted over to third. He's there with 2 gone. Now the 0-2 and a cut to miss. Echeverria is out on strikes to retire the side. Rays lead this game 3-1. Time for the Gulf Coast Honda dealers 7th inning stretch. Tropicana Field, the Rays coming into bat in the bottom half of the 7th. Facing Steve Delabar, new pitcher. First pitch, a fastball and a cut to miss by Desmond Jennings. Delabar has a very good arm. You can look at those numbers, reflective of that.
Well, the 52 strikeouts and 40 in the third, and the opponent's average at 170. Tremendous.
Quickly ahead of Jennings, 0-2. One ball, 2 strikes. So the Rays got 3 runs, 6 hits in 6 innings of Villanueva. He struck out 7 and walked 3. And Jennings is out on strikes, 1 away. Let's check in again with Todd.
Well, Dwayne, as we've talked about the community involvement for the Tampa Bay Rays, it's worth noting that one of the new programs, too, that has just started out is the new walking school bus program here in the St. Petersburg area. And also, when you talk about the overall Rays Baseball Foundation, in 2012, over 1,000 groups have received a total of more than $180,000. Tonight, we gave you just a snapshot of what the Rays do in the community. For more information, you can go to raysbaseball.com/community and learn more about how the Rays really make an impact on Tampa Bay, guys.
Yeah, and it really is something that the Rays feel is a responsibility for them to be involved in, and it's very infrequent that you hear much about it. They go out and do these things, contribute time and treasure, and spend time trying to help the community become even better than it is to begin with. Cut the miss, 1 ball, 2 strikes, just trying to be essentially a good citizen. And you're right, it's just a little snapshot tonight. what the Rays have done as an organization in the community.
And it's year-round. It doesn't take a break when baseball season's over, and continues to roll throughout the off-season.
Joe Madden comes back, and we've both been involved with his Thanksmas and the fun and the good works that is involved in all of that. 2 balls, 2 strikes. It's really a good look.
A lot of work.
Yeah.
Jeez.
They are. Pop fly short center. Johnson out from second base, takes care of that. Doing some heavy lifting there.
Yeah, well, I got there. That was my first experience with Thanksmas, and as soon as I got there, Tom Foley and Jim Hickey put me right to work.
Yep.
I mean, right to work. No wasted any time, and yeah.
Well, they had a guy there ready for the heavy lifting.
And by the way, you do work.
Yes, you do.
There is no question about it. You get an appreciation for servers, I'll tell you that much. That is another one of the great outreach programs that Joe Madden has made so famous.
The strike call to Matt Joyce. One and one. Another foul ball. Speaking of heavy lifting, it's not only the players and the folks who are more visible involved in this. Across departments here of everyday Rays employees are involved in this, and you talk about doing the heavy lifting. That's where that comes from as well. And a big tip of the cap to everyone, all the employees in the Rays organization. You don't get a chance to see them often, and they do great work as well, and it has created a lot of goodwill for those who are on the receiving end and the giving end. Joyce is out on strikes. We're through 7 and the Rays lead 3-1. It's the middle game of this series. Take a look at the pitching matchup here tomorrow afternoon. The first pitch is set for 1:10. Our Chevron starting pitchers tomorrow: Henderson Alvarez for Toronto and Matt Moore on the hill for the Rays. Matt after his 9th win. Then the Rays hit the road. We'll be with you Friday night. The Rays take on the Minnesota Twins in Minneapolis. Harry LeBrock, Orestes Destrada anchoring coverage on the pregame show from the Fox Sports Florida studio. Todd Callis will touch on the start of this lengthy West Coast trip. And of course, BA's breakdown. You never want to miss one of BA's breakdowns. We think there are cameras installed just to record them.
And not talking about anything having to do with the pregame show. You just don't want to see.
There we go. Joel Peralta, the new Rays pitcher. And it's a breaking ball in there to Rajon Davis.
Some of them are epic,
strike
though.
one. They are. They are. And believe me, somebody has all of those. You think you pulled out some photos tonight? Just wait.
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
That's right.
I know there's one floating out there.
Little roller foul up the right side. 2 strikes. Yes, sir. Well, 7 very good innings for Alex Cobb. A run, 5 hits. He struck out 7. Hit a couple men, didn't walk anybody. Made 102 pitches tonight. He was very good. And now in the hands of Joel Peralta. Ooh, did he go? I guess not. It's pretty close to begin with. Alex Cobb now over his last 3 starts. Pretty close. 3 starts. He's walked only 1. He's hit 3. 13 strikeouts in his last 2 starts. Well, that takes care of Davis. He's out on strikes. 1 away in the 8th.
And you know what? Alex Cobb really couldn't have finished up his outing any better. You know, a 3-1 ball game. Top of the 7th inning, as you see Peralta finishing off Davis with that fastball up in the zone. He gives a leadoff double to Kelly Johnson. And then all of a sudden, Toronto decides to bunt him to third. Successful. What does Alex do? He just bears down, is able to pick up, you know, back-to-back strikeouts to get out of that inning without even having given up that run, still maintain that 2-run cushion. Well, that's a strong way to go out.
There's Kobe Rasmus. He's still up in the batter's box, even against Peralta. Pitches down, and he's so close to stepping out. It reminded me of a case when Hank Aaron actually lost a home run in Old Busch Stadium, formerly Sportsman's Park. He had a home run over the pavilion roof in right field. I think that was back in 1965, and he hit it off Kurt Simmons. Simmons threw him a lot of off-speed stuff, and Aaron, they've been doing that all night, and Aaron sort of ran up on the pitch, kind of a little kind of a hop, and then swung and hit it out. But he stepped out of the batter's box, and Chris Pellicudis, the plate umpire, called him out. He had hit a fly ball the time before. I think it was a fly ball. He'd hit the ball and it stepped out, put it into play, but he had made an out anyway. So they didn't call it, but when he hit the home run and he stepped out of the batter's box, he was called out by the plate umpire.
That would stink.
Yeah, so he wound up. There's a swing and a miss. Rasmus out on strikes. Back-to-back strikeouts here by Peralta. So he wound up with 755, but he really had 756. But that one was called an out. And there are those who think the guy who tipped off Chris Pellicudis that night on the at bat before, Bob Uecker, he was the catcher. Encarnacion takes the pitch, and that's in there for a strike. Nine strikeouts for Rays pitching tonight. One and one the count. Three 6-0 for the Rays. 1 5-1 for Toronto. Concepcion took a mighty swing at that one.
I mean, that was a rip. Big, long stride, bigger swing.
One and two. Out and away. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Pitch made. Strike 3 call. They got him. Fastball. That's strikeout number 10 for the Rays staff tonight. Peralta strikes out the side here in the 8th. Cobb struck out the side in the 4th. And Peralta goes 1, 2, 3 in the 8th. 3-1 Rays.
Is presented by authority of the Tampa Bay Rays and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Tampa Bay Rays.
Brad Lincoln, the new pitcher for the Blue Jays. The Rays have Evan Longoria in the batter's box. The pitch is a strike. That'll take the count to 1-1. Delabar worked 1 inning. A 1-2-3 7th. And he struck out a couple. Breaking ball hit on the ground, foul. Now to Tom Foley, and Foley is going to toss it into the stands. The youngster with the souvenir. More goodwill this time from Tom Foley.
Just out of reach of our man.
Yeah. Breaking ball, and he did go around. Boy, that was a nasty breaking pitch right there from Brad Lincoln. It's 10 strikeouts now for Toronto pitching.
Well, this revamped Toronto bullpen, we've seen some good arms with some good breaking stuff come out of there. Jenkins last night with the 3 scoreless innings coming up from Double-A. Obviously, Delabar showed an electric arm, and that was a great pitch there by Lincoln.
Ben Zobrist takes a fastball inside, 1-0. Blue Jays got him for Travis Snyder. Big Lincoln from Pittsburgh. With the strike, and the count is 2-1. Sharply hit. That's going to go into right field for a base hit. Zobrist on for the third time. That's his first hit. Let's take a look at the Autoway text poll again. James Shields should have 10 more starts this year. How many wins do you think he'll get in those starts? TB1 8+, TB2 6 or 7, TB3 4 or 5, or TB4 3 or fewer. Text your answer to 789-789. Standard message and data rates apply. It's Carlos Pena. Pena 0 for 2. He walked. Now trying to bunt his way on last time. The pitch is a strike at the knees. Tigers making a game of it at home against New York. It's now 8-7. The Tigers scored 4 in the bottom of the 7th. New York hitting in the 8th. The Yankees at one time had a 7-1 lead in that game. It's 8-7 now. New York. Yankees hitting in the 8th. The 0-1. Big cut and a miss. Throw to first. Zobrist is back in. Well, Lincoln, Pittsburgh was 4-2 with a .273 earned run average. 23 games out of the bullpen in 5 starts. He had 60 strikeouts and a little over 59 innings and had walked only 14. It's hard
tough guy to
give up a guy like that.
Yeah.
He's impressive tonight. 2 strikes. Time called. Villanueva worked 6. Delabar for an inning, and now Lincoln. In on Pena, and he fouls it back. He scored 3 runs on 4 hits in the 7th. Upton with a run batted in. Keppinger a run batted in. The other run came home on a double play ball off the bat of Evan Longoria. To the count. It's popped foul near the dugout and will be out of play. Now still 2 strikes. Lincoln was picked by the Pirates in the 2006 draft. He was 4th overall in that draft out of the University of Houston. Blue Jays got him for Travis Snyder, the outfielder. Over to first. Silver's back in. After their 58th win of the year tonight. ball, 2 strikes. It's a hard curveball.
Well, that thing just disappeared behind the back leg of Carlos Pena. Just took off.
One, 2. Down. Stopped by Mathis. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Oakland beat the Angels in Oakland 9-8. Texas beat Boston. The 2-2. Fly ball. Short center. Rasmus makes the catch. 2 gone. Cleveland beat the Twins 6-2. Kansas City leading Chicago 2-0 top of the 6th. That's Chicago. The Orioles a big lead 9-2 at the end of 7 at home over Seattle. And again, the Yankees are batting in the 8th in Detroit, leading 8-7. Jeff Keppinger. He takes a strike on the outside corner. Keppinger faced Lincoln over in the National League. He's 2 out of 3 against him. Ground ball, shortstop. Escobar with the flip to Johnson for the force. We're through 8, on to the 9th, and it's 3-1 Tampa Bay.
In 2012 has been a remarkable season for Fernando Rodney. Here's what he thinks has been the big difference.
Fastball location this year, that's the difference for me because I always have the good speed changer. Always have it, but sometimes when I get down the count, I'm a little bit scared in the past to throw my fastball. But this year I feel comfortable, I feel relaxed. I believe and trust all my pitchers have and throw any count.
There's Rodney in his own words about his success this year. Back on for the 9th again tonight, guys.
Well, Fernando Rodney, 33 saves, picking up number 33 last night. And look at the earned run average.
I mean, how about that? .70, and Listen, he knows himself better than anybody. That fastball command. Hasn't walked, 7 hitters in 50-plus innings.
And here in the 9th inning, he'll face Hidel Escobar. Elliot Johnson has taken over at shortstop. Sean Rodriguez moves to third. And the first pitch, fly ball short right field. Joy's on in a hurry, is there to make the catch. Hidel Escobar went after the first pitch, a fastball. 1 pitch, 1 out. Now David Cooper, the first baseman. Cobb worked the front 7. Peralta, the 8th. And now Fernando Rodney. Cooper takes the pitch, and that's a strike. So a couple of fastballs to start it. Back toward the left field corner. Jennings on the run, and that ball's going to go. It got over the low wall and bounces up into the blue seats. An opposite field home run by David Cooper on a fastball at 97. And that will make it 3-2. So Rodney touched for a home run, and it cleared the low wall.
Well, not very often. Left-handed hitter going right down the left field line. Cooper puts a good swing on that. That pitch just right down the line, and you'll see it right off the top of the wall.
So it's a 1-run ball game. Kelly Johnson takes the pitch for a ball. At the front of the changeup. Count is 1-1. High popper. Left side for Elliot Johnson at shortstop. 2 gone.
Well, coming up on Rays Live, the postgame presented by Checkers. Todd and Orestes will be anchoring the coverage from center field. Get our thoughts on this ball game from up here in the booth, and you'll be let in on Joe Madden's press conference and player interviews.
A home run by Cooper, only the 2nd earned run Rodney's allowed here at the Trop this year, and the 2nd home run he's given up. The other one was that walk-off by Jared Saltalamacchia. Change up into Mathis for a strike. That's a strike to Mathis. Fastball at 98. Mathis didn't have time to react.
No time to react. And even if he did, the location of that pitch was spectacular.
So now Rodney a pitch away from picking up the save, preserving the victory. And a line drive to short. It's all over. Elliot Johnson grabbing the liner, and the Rays are 3-2 winners tonight. Alex Cobb will pick up the victory, his 6th win, and the 34th save of the year for Fernando Rodney. The Rays have taken the first 2 games of the series from Toronto, winning last night 4-1 and winning 3-2 tonight. Took 2 hours and 42 minutes to play this game. The Rays scored 3 times in the 3rd. And we'll take a look at tonight's Miller Lite Taste Greatness moment. It'll be the 3rd inning. Desmond Jennings opened with a double. He was doubled home by B.J. Upton. Matt Joyce followed with a base hit, and then a double play ball off the bat of Evan Longoria scored Upton. After a couple of walks, Jeff Kepinger's base hit on a curveball. Base hit into center, drove in the 3rd run of the inning. Ben Zobrist crossed the plate. That gave the Rays a 3-1 lead, and they win it tonight 3-2 here. Right now, let's go to the field and Todd Callis.
Thanks, Dwayne. BJ, we've talked about it before with this pitching staff. You guys get 2 or 3 runs, things are feeling pretty good, huh?
Yeah, man. We do what we need to do to win. Obviously, we'd like to score more runs, but our pitching staff's been coming through for us all year and keeping us in ball games, and we scored enough runs for us to win.
In that inning where you score 3, you got things rolling after Desmond turned a single into a double. You really look like you're using the whole field better. Has that been the case lately?
Yeah, it's something that I've gotten away from in the last couple of years, and something I'm trying to get back to, and starting to work for me a little bit.
When you see this team, and there's a new name in the lineup the last couple of nights, even though he didn't have much of a performance tonight, just having him back, has it made an impact on you guys?
Yeah, definitely. And, when you haven't been playing at the big league level for a while, it's tough to step right back in and perform. So we know it's going to be a work in progress, but just happy to have him back in the lineup.
You guys have not had the best record lately at home. Now you've got a chance for a winning record and a chance at a sweep before another long road trip. Pretty important to kind of finish us off tomorrow.
Yeah, I think the goal is always to win series, and we got a sweep ahead of us. There's a chance we could sweep, and we got to try to capitalize on it.
Nice job tonight, BJ.
Thanks.
All right, guys, BJ Upton, back to you.
All right, Todd, Rays winners tonight. It's a 3-2 final here. Rays winning the first 2 games of the series from Toronto. We'll be back in just a moment.